Hey Hogs, we're going to talk about our chip technique. The chip block is used when you are covered either head up or backside shoulder of dive when you're on the backside of dive, or if you're on the front side and backside of sweep, jet, or toss. So the chip technique is used, as I said, when you have a head up or backside defender on those plays and you are double teaming with the guy backside of you who is trying to take over that defender. They are either basing or scooping that guy. A chip block is that you are, what you do is that you pick your play side foot up and put it down as a timing step. And then your second step goes to the midline or the crotch of that defender. If that defender was head up, your first step would step laterally, and then your second step will go to the midline of the defender to give the backside lineman you're double teaming with uh, a window to hit the down defender. Because if you just hit the guy straight on, if he was head up on you, there would be no window for this guy to hit this defender. There'd be no jersey for this guy to hit. So that's why if this guy's head up, you need to step laterally and step it towards the midline and punch with your backside hand to the play side number. That way, the guy that's basing or scooping can then hit the backside number and work to the play side number. You want to make sure when you're chip blocking, you are staying as square as possible. You want to be thick on the down defender. We want to try to take this down defender to the linebacker that we're working to. We don't want to just hit him and then run off because that's going to leave this guy in a bad position to take that guy over. The best thing we can do is overlap and take this defender to that linebacker, deliver him to the lap of the linebacker. So we want to make sure we stay thick on this defender, drive him back, and stay square. Now, when we hit this guy, our eyes are still in our gap. Even though we're double teaming, we're still gap responsible for our front side gap. So if this three technique were to spike into our gap, we need to come off and defend our gap. We need to make sure we're still gap accountable, even though we are helping double team right here to the linebacker. If someone else tries to slant into our gap, the double team is off and we have to go block that guy. Okay. And we can't worry about the linebacker. We have to make sure we take care of the first level first and block our gap. So I'll show some examples of what a chip block looks like. So we're going to look at the backside guard here. So this is a backside guard on dive. He has a head up technique. So he's going to take a lateral step. The second step will go towards the midline of the defender. He will have his play side arm free, and he will be working to the second level defender. The backside tackle is basing and trying to take this guy over. So notice the guard stepped across, stepped over, and his second step, he wasn't able to get a second step down fast enough. So that's why it's still up in the air. Those two steps need to be fast, but he has his backside arm close to the play side number. His head is in his gap. His play side arm needs to be free, but he has his eyes in his gap and he needs to be looking down flat down the line of scrimmage for any sort of movement coming into his gap. He needs to make sure his eyes are in his gap, even though he's helping with this double team. If there were to be someone looping into his gap or a linebacker blitzing, he needs to be able to come off, and then the double team is no longer happening. Okay. So I'll show it to you again. He steps, second step needs to get down fast, but notice that there's a window for this guy to come and take this block over. Now this guy needs to get his head on the near number and make sure we close this double team down, which they get to here. As you can see now, that they're nice and tight. This is the type of double team we want to see. And they're trying to move the guy where the chip guy comes off and the base guy takes that guy over. So I'll show it to you again. So 1, 2, he's trying to work up to the second level. This guy's trying to take it over. And show you another example. Okay, now we're going to look at the right guard here. The right guard has a guy on his backside shoulder. Okay, so he's calling a double team with the center. He's going to say, let's just pretend that this is sweep to the right here. They're on the play side. He's going to say base to this linebacker. Okay, I think that's 58. So he's going to say base to 58. And he's going to help chip that down lineman. Notice his first step is with this foot. He picks it up, puts it down. The second step goes to the midline of the defender. He punches with his backside arm. His play side arm is free. He's having his eyes in his gap, but his eyes need to be lateral, looking at the next down lineman in case this guy were to slant in, so he can get off and help block that guy. Or it could be a linebacker as well, trying to blitz this gap late, and he needs to be able to get off and block that guy. Okay. So that is the chip block, either a guy head up on you or on your backside shoulder when you're in a double team with someone basing or scooping.